Hello everyone, welcome to another episode from Ampro Engineering. As you saw in a previous episode where we did the dash panel of the Bruiser, in this episode we are going to do a shifter. Now there's a manual version and an automatic version. This is the auto version. They're basically the same except for obviously the fact that this has got a T-handle shifter, a shift plate, and a shift selector. We'll go ahead and prep this for paint, and you can see there are 4 individual parts here. They will be sold as a single part, and as usual, all information for purchasing, like links, are all in the description. So we'll begin by first, I think we're gonna cut off this trim plate here. I think we'll cut off this larger shift part here, this assembly. And the reason is this is gonna be easy to stick to a piece of tape to paint. The shifter will not be. This will be predominantly black, so will this, but the shift lights are going to be not as heavily painted, so I want them separate. I don't want to put too much paint on those. So these can be painted by themselves, and the trim piece are all finished as well as the gear shifter. So I'm gonna take these both off the sprue and we'll install them into this. And so I put a little bit of glue right there and we'll drop the shift plate right in here. And it only goes in one orientation. To prepare the automatic shift gate, once again, we'll take our sandpaper and just very carefully run it directly over the embossed letters. Now this is large enough to where I actually could spell out each one of the letters from park all the way down to low. So this one here, I did put enough layers of black paint to make it opaque, except for the text, which are backlit on the actual truck. So that is all we're going to need to do. Referencing the 1980 brochure, it shows that all of these are white minus the N, which happens to be green. There we go with our green Sharpie. I'll just go ahead and mark that. And if you don't care about the illumination, these would look really nice just touched up with some paint. Now before we put the shifter in, so I'm just going to mark the center of this and we'll punch another hole. And we're going to make a cutout roughly about 7 by 10, just kind of in this area right here. Okay, the best way to do this is to just mock up where your shifter is depending on maybe the driver figure that you have in here so everything fits properly. I'm aware that mine will fit this region right here, so I'll just make this cutout. All right, and that is the hole for the shifter. So we're gonna have to prep this guy for paint. Now, the entire shift mechanism is put together. You see I made a little hole here on the bottom of the floor pan, and this will just get dropped straight on top of it. And just make sure you want to put it as close to the middle as possible. And for this particular version, I am going to install the 3mm LED on the bottom. I'm going to trim off just slightly more to get that LED in there. But first we'll glue it in place and see how all this looks. Remember that if you want, you can install the LED here. This will allow the letters to illuminate, but that is very much optional. If you would like to see that, I will do a full unveiling of the entire Bruiser interior with the door panels, the dash, and everything else in a upcoming video. Please note that there's also a manual variant of this, and links to all of those are in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.